So we're going to start down on the ground. Let me fold this screen down so I can see better. I've got a big screen behind my little laptop so I can see everybody. I have to fold the laptop down so I can see the big screen though. Okay, so have a seat. Legs out in front of you, and I've got a couple different cameras set up. So maybe one view suits you better than the other. You've got your 2 blocks, your pillow nearby. I happen to be sitting on my pillow. I don't really need to be sitting on the pillow right now. I just happen to be. And with legs out in front. Let's start with a good shoulder shrug. Inhale all the way up. Exhale back and down. Turn your palms forward. Repeat. Great big shoulder shrug. Great big yawn. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Great big shoulder shrug. Great big yawn. And then bring your hands behind you. I have my fingers pointing backwards, and I'm working my hands narrow, close to one another. Pinky fingers walking in narrow, close to one another. I'm going to puff out my chest. Big puffy chest. I've got my feet out in front. Shoulders back, chest lifted. Take a great big heart breath, letting your chest expand. And you might close your eyes, turn your attention inward, and focus in on your breath. And let your breath penetrate deep into your chest, spreading across your heart. So again, if you're just now joining me, I have hands behind my back. I'm pressing into my fingertips, puffing my chest out, breathing across my heart, trying to expand across the collarbones. Depending on how tight your chest feels, you might feel that in your chest muscles or in the front of your shoulders. Big chesty breaths. And then release. From here, put the bottom of your feet together. Mosquito. It must be summertime. That was just a mosquito on me. So bottoms of your feet come together, and you're just going to slouch and breathe into that spot between your shoulder blades. So the opposite side of your chest. You were just now breathing into your heart, and now you're going to breathe into that space between your shoulder blades. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back. I'm just kind of slouching in place, holding onto my feet and ankles so that I don't fall over. And breathing into that space between shoulder blades. All the while, those shoulders are dropping down away from the ears. And then holding onto the feet, inhale, sit up. Pulling your chest through your elbows, letting your chest bulge forward, breathing into your heart. And then exhale, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, lean backwards, slouch. Breathing into that space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, slouch back. And set it to rocking, kind of like a seated cat and cow. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, slouch. And keep it going. And then with a great big inhale, sit up nice and tall. And help your legs together. Hands, once again, by your sides or back behind you, depending on how mobile your shoulders are. So at your sides or shrugged back together and down, really letting your chest puff out, whatever works for you, whatever your comfort level is. Find your toes, wiggle your toes. You might be able to see my feet here. Scrunch your toes as you inch your feet forward, and then push your toes, heels back. Kind of toe walking forward and back. How about one more crawl forward with your toes and push back. And just notice if your feet are cramping first thing Sunday morning. And then sit up nice and tall once again. If you're kind of like me and slouching backwards this morning, you might consider sitting on 2 blocks. That will allow you to sit up taller and even tip your hips in such a way that you can bring your torso forward a little bit more. So sitting up on a couple of blocks, once again coming into that Baddha Konasana, butterfly bound angle pose, cobbler's tailor's pose. It's got a couple different names. The Sanskrit is Baddha Konasana. You're going to put the bottoms of your feet together. Your legs are angled out to the sides. And then using the heels of your hands, your thumbs, your knuckles, whatever you have here at the end of your arms, you're going to start to knead your feet. Yes, we can work on calf and neck stretches today. Yes, and knead your feet. Get your feet to open up like a book. You can grab a hold of those big toes and work them back and forth. Again, I'm lifted my hips up high enough so that I can tip my pelvis in such a way that my belly spills forward and just the weight of my torso leans down through my arms into my feet. So it's more of a shifting of my weight than it is a pushing and using of my arms to do this foot massage. And then when you've woken your feet up a little bit, once again, help your legs together. And take those legs out in front. Shoulder shrug up, back and down. Hitchhiking your shoulder blades down your back. Hands at your sides or behind you if they go back there. You're going to roll your ankles around. Big loopy ankle circles. And go the other way. And then turn out like a ballerina. Point your toes out to the sides. And then turn in. Maybe take your heels a little bit wider and just try to dive your big toes in towards one another. And once again, turn out. And turn in. And then point out, ballerina toes. And then peel back, flexing your feet. Show me the bottoms of your feet. And then release. All right, I'm going to come off my bricks because I'm going to windshield wipe and start to loosen up the hips a little bit more. I don't want to fall off the bricks. So knees are bent, feet are flat, feet are about hip width apart. I'm just going to let my knees tick-tock side to side like windshield wipers. Again, be aware, conscious of what you're doing to your wrists. Try to unlock your elbows. Maybe come up onto fingertips. Try not to aggravate that carpal tunnel if you've got it. And tick-tock side to side. You'll notice that one hip, one butt cheek lifts up, then the other. And if you want to get really fancy with this, you'll slow it down and begin to synchronize breath with movement. So as you inhale, knees come up, and exhale, knees fall over. Inhale up, and exhale over. So we're loosening up the hips and pelvis, and in case you haven't noticed, it's a little bit of a shoulder stretch too. Especially if you have your arms back behind you, working your pinky fingers in narrow, closer to one another. Gives you just a little bit more stretch on the front of the shoulders. And then come back to neutral. From here, cross a leg over. Doesn't matter which, just pick a leg, cross it over. Give that ankle another roll. Shoulders back, chest lifted, make it look good. Again, I've come off my blocks because I don't want to fall off the blocks. It doesn't matter which leg you crossed over. Go ahead, reverse the circle on that ankle. Because from here, you're just going to tip-tock side to side. Years ago, oh God, it's probably 20 years ago, I used to go to In Cahoots, back when Garth Brooks was a thing. I don't know if any of you ever paid attention to Garth Brooks 20 years ago, but the country western style was a button-down shirt with large color blocks, and he'd had one shirt, I think it was even on an album cover, it was like half black and half blue. Just now doing this, I'm thinking this would be really worthwhile if I had one pant leg red, one pant leg blue, so you can tell my legs apart. Here they are crossed up wearing dark gray, and you can't really tell what I'm doing here. So tick-tocking side to side. Again, it doesn't matter which leg you have on top. And then you're going to come back to neutral. And if you're like me, your hips kind of traveled forward, so you got to scooch back to stay on camera. And then you're going to cross the other leg on top, whichever leg that is. And shake out your wrists, shake out your hands, roll out your ankle. Go the other way. All right, and then you know what we're going to do. You're going to tick-tock side to side. And let your hips shift and rock. One butt cheek lifts up, then the other. And you might travel a little bit as you do this. I tend to travel. Do pay attention to your wrists, though. Maybe pop up onto fingertips. And then come back to neutral. And again, resituate yourself if you need to. Take your legs out in front, and once again, shake out those wrists. So find a comfy seat, lift and separate, divide and conquer. Just sit comfortably. If shooting your legs out in front doesn't work for you, you can do simple cross-legged. It doesn't matter how you sit right now, because we're going to do a little wrist stretch. Because this tends to bother my wrist if I stay back here for too long. So let's stretch the wrist the other way. Take a hand, any hand, it doesn't matter which. Have a nice floppy wrist, bent elbow, and shoulders down. Press on the back of that hand so you feel the stretch on the back side of the wrist. Now take that same hand out in front like you're covering somebody else's eyes. Now pull back on the pinky finger, push away on the thumb. So you're going to twist your wrist. Shoulders are relaxed, elbows are bent. Again, sitting comfortably. I don't care how you sit. And then one last stretch for this wrist. I'm going to squeeze the wrist, pull down, keep squeezing, keep pulling down, and wave bye-bye to wrist pain. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So start with a little floppy wrist. Press on the back of the hand. Feel the stretch down the back side of the wrist. And breathe. Take that hand as if you're covering somebody else's eyes. Pull back on the pinky finger, push away on the thumb, twist the wrist. Try to relax your shoulders. And then one last wrist release. You're going to squeeze tight, pull down, keep squeezing tight, keep pulling down, and wave bye-bye. And then release. Give those wrists a nice roll. Once again, give those ankles a nice roll. Why not? And then go the other way. And I'm going to kind of clear the clutter out of the way, but do keep it handy. Okay, so we come back to that in a moment. I'm going to swing both legs off to one side, and I don't care which side you go. So I've staggered my legs, foot near the knee, other foot back behind. And I'm just going to twist towards the bent knee, or whatever leg this is in front. Okay. Sit up nice and tall, bow forward. Inhale, sit up. Swish the legs to the other side. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, sit up. Switch. Exhale, forward. Inhale up. Switch. Exhale, forward. Do this a couple more times. Exhaling as you bow forward. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward. And now this fourth pass through. Exhale, bow forward. Stay down. Inhale, pause. Maybe come halfway up. Lengthen your chest forward and exhale, bow over that. Inhale, come on up. Switch. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Lengthen your chest out a little bit more. And exhale, drape yourself forward. Inhale up. And switch. This time you're staying upright. This time you are twisting to look behind you. And inhale, switch. And twist. So I'm twisting away from my feet. If I glance down, I cannot see my feet. Inhale to center, switch your legs. Exhale, twist away from your feet. Inhale, center, switch legs. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center, switch legs. Exhale, twist. And inhale, center, switch legs. We're gonna do 2 breaths on this time. So exhale, twist. Inhale, taller. Exhale, twist further. Inhale, center, switch legs. Exhale, twist away from your feet. Inhale, come taller. Exhale, twist further. Inhale, back to center. Switch legs. Good. Now you're gonna lean back. I've kind of traveled, so I'm gonna scooch forward so I stay on camera. Twist away from your feet. Drop the back elbow towards the floor. Maybe let your head hang. Maybe open your mouth and yawn. Exhale. And inhale, shove off that back hand. Switch legs. Gonna twist away from your feet. Lean back. Drop that back elbow down towards the ground. Let your head hang. Open your mouth, yawn. Shove off with that backhand, come back up to center. Switch. Twist away from your feet. Lean back, elbow down towards the ground. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. Head hangs. Let your heart open. You can even press into that supporting arm, that supporting elbow, and puff your chest up a little bit more as you open your mouth, yawn, let your head hang. And then shove off. And switch. Shrugging the shoulder back, hitchhiking that shoulder back behind you as you lean back, bringing that elbow down towards the ground, letting your heart puff up as you drop your head, open your mouth, yawn, shove off. All right, we're gonna switch again and hold it a little bit longer. Shrugging the supporting shoulder back, getting that shoulder blade in close to your spine. Chest is already lifted. Leaning back, elbow, hand, whatever you have back there on the floor. Heart lifting up, head hanging back. I've got a free hand. I'm going to take that free hand, wipe a table out in front and then alongside my ear. Lengthening out through pinky finger. At this point, one butt cheek might be lifted. That's fine. Shrug that bottom shoulder down your back. Let your heart open up a little bit more. And I dare you, I encourage you to drop your head, open your mouth, yawn. If you come out of this, you're going to end the scene. You're going to take the arm that's in the air, drag it down midline. As it comes to your chin, you're going to tuck your chin and then shove off with that bottom hand. Come all the way up. So it's an end scene move. And let's switch sides. Shoulder back, shoulder blade in against your spine. Heart lifted as you lean back, elbow coming towards the floor. Heart lifts. Wiping a table out in front, letting your head hang. Your back is arching, one butt cheek is up off the ground probably. You're breathing here. And then to get out of this, you're going to end scene. Exhale, pull your tummy in, drag that hand down midline, shove off with the bottom hand, come back up. One more time, let's switch sides. I'm going to go at a slightly different angle. So again, shoulder shrug, up, back, and down. Leaning back, elbow might come to the floor. Let your heart lift. So I'm pushing into that elbow to lift my heart up, letting my head hang. Wiping that table out in front, top arm alongside the ear, lengthening out through pinky finger, letting my throat open, yawning. And then to come out of this once again. End scene. Now as you end the scene, shove off, come all the way up. We're going to stay on this side for just a moment. Going to bow forward over that leg. Very first move we did. Head hanging, bending your elbows, breathing. Walk both hands towards the feet. So your chest is staying low, you're walking both hands towards the feet, and then you find yourself forward folding into your own lap, head down towards the ground. Pushing into your hands, walking your hands back to the lap, shrugging your shoulders down your back as you come all the way up. You're going to switch legs. Again, I'm going to pivot so you can get a slightly different view here. Shrugging your shoulder back, leaning back, hand, maybe elbow comes to the floor. Puff up your heart, let your head hang back. Take that free arm, sweep it out in front alongside your ear. Get long through your side body, reaching through your pinky finger, pressing down through your knee. Side body yawning open, head hanging. Both shoulders shrugged down away from your ears. And scene, pushing into that bottom hand, bottom elbow to sit up, and then leaning over the thigh, head hanging. And staying low, walking both hands towards your feet until your belly comes into your lap, and you continue to forward fold. Hands on the mat, press into your hands, walk your hands back towards your lap, and sit up. All right, I take legs out in front, give them a little shake. That was a mosquito earlier. Oh. Shaking out those legs. All right, now we're gonna do a seated forward fold, cross-legged sit. I'm gonna sit on a couple blocks. I advise you to sit on a couple blocks, maybe even a couple blocks with a pillow on top to get a little bit more height. Sit on enough stuff so that your hip bones are higher than your knee bones, your thighs angled down and away. And simple cross leg. So you're not tangling or tying your shins up in a knot. They're simply lying side by side. And pull everything else out wide, kind of butt walk to the edge of whatever you were sitting upon. Good, good, shoulder shrug up. Exhale, back and down. Maybe even yawn. You can tick-tock your head side to side. And then from here, you're just going to lean forward. And as you come forward, progress your heart. Lead with your heart. And if you're really loose in the hips, you could probably get rid of all the stuff underneath your backside, but do let your hips sit on something. So either your sit bones are making contact with a stack of blocks and blankets, or your sit bones are making contact with the floor. Do not let your butt fly in the air. And then pressing your hands into the floor, walking your hands back towards your lap. Slowly come on up. Rearrange, put the other leg in front. Shoulders back, chest lifted, gripping heart stretch. A big breath. And coming forward. Again, lead the way with your heart. Coming into that forward fold. And then once again, walking your hands back towards your lap. Come all the way up. Release your legs. Once again, give them a shake. I'm gonna come up to hands and knees. We'll do a little cat and cow. So I like to put padding underneath my knees. I encourage you to do the same. Have those blocks nearby. Come back to those in a moment. Knees on some padding. Hands beneath your shoulders, toes curled under, just to give those toes a little bit of a stretch. Begin with an inhale, head up, tail up. And then as you exhale, pull your tummy in. Tuck your chin to your chest. Push into that space between your shoulder blades in this cat pose. And then inhale, head up, tail up, come into cow. And exhale into cat. And keep working it. As you wave your spine back and forth through cat and cow, you might consider practicing up on fingertips. A little bit of height, a little bit extra length in your arms will shift the focus, the intensity of that stretch into a slightly different spot in your spine. You could also play with maybe flipping your fingers backwards, giving yourself another little wrist stretch. And then come to neutral. All right, get your blocks handy. We're gonna do some lunges. All kinds of side bends and spirals and stretches. All kinds of lunge variations. Sorry, Edith. So padding underneath your knees. We're gonna start with a 90, 90, 90. So we're not gonna drop down into our deepest lunge. We're just gonna kind of do what I call proposal pose. So 90 at this front knee, 90 at the hip, 90 at the back knee, 90, 90, 90. Blocks nearby. Shoulder shrug up, back, and down. I don't care which leg you have in front. Gonna side bend in the direction of the front leg, whatever leg that is. I got my block here nearby. Shoulder shrug up, back and down. Arms come up and overhead. Find your balance. As you exhale, drop your hands down by your hips, and as you do so, pull your tummy in. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, activate your tummy. Do a little pelvic thrust tilt. Inhale, arms up, heart lifts. Exhale, pelvic thrust. Zip up your tight yoga pants. Engage your abs. Just pulling in your abs will give you a little bit more of a quadricep stretch on that supporting leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, abs strong. Now just the, I'm not saying right or left, but this happens to be my right leg. I'm going to take my left arm up. Left arm up. And side stretch in the direction of the front leg. And I'm going to leave us here. Us, you, myself here for at least 4 breaths. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. If you're really wobbly or unsteady, you can wiggle that front foot a little wider out to the side. Give yourself a little wider base of support. It'll be more stable so that you can breathe into this. And usually by the 3rd or 4th breath, the muscles start to hang from the bone. Your body gets used to the position. It starts to settle in. It tries to find some comfort and ease. And then inhale, come up and release. You're gonna repeat on that same side. Again, exhaling, zipping up those tight yoga abs. Inhaling, stretching, for me, it's my left arm up. And then tipping over towards the front leg side. Again, you're here for at least 4 breaths. Try to lengthen through the pinky finger. Pelvic thrust, tuck your tail a little bit more. Maybe tuck your chin and let your head start to fall backward. Bottom shoulder shrugs away from your ear. Maybe start to open your throat towards the sky, turning your chin towards that top arm. Maybe starting to turn your head, gazing up towards that top elbow. And then inhale all the way up and release. Whew, got a little lightheaded doing that side. Let's switch sides. I've been here a while. So this is my right leg. I got my left leg forward. I'm doing this with my back toes curled under. It just makes me feel more balanced. But if that's really bony on your back knee, back toes can be pointed. I don't really care what you're doing in the back toes as long as you're comfortable. Do put enough padding underneath that knee so that you're not grinding bone. You're gonna wiggle that front foot a little bit wider out to the side. Lift your torso up. You're going for that 90, 90, 90. So it's not your deepest, lowest lunge. You're doing more of a proposal pose. You're down on one knee. Most of your weight's on this one knee. Again, this is my left leg forward. Shoulders up, back, and down. Torso stays pretty much upright. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, pelvic thrust. Zip up those tight yoga pants. Tuck your tail under. Then pull up on that pelvic floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. This time, inhale, both arms up. You're going to leave the right arm up and exhale, drop the left. So I'm going to lean in the direction of the front leg, over into a side stretch. So it's not a back bend, it's not a forward bend, it's just a side stretch for now. Here for 3 or 4 breaths. Both shoulders shrug down your back. Taking the time to breathe and just notice if you find that moment where the muscles just kind of get used to the position. And then you're going to inhale, come back up. We're going to go back into that side stretch again. Once again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, activate that pelvic thrust. Strong abs, zip them nice and tight. For me, it's my right arm coming up and over into that side stretch. Again, if you're wobbly, wiggle the front foot a little wider. Shoulders shrug down your back. Letting your head hang. Turning your head, looking up towards that top elbow. Bottom shoulder shrugging away from your ear. Breathing. And then with an inhale, come all the way up and release. Cool. Let's go back to that first side. For me, it's my right leg forward. Again, finding that 90, 90, 90. 90 at the knee, 90 at the hip, 90 at the other knee. If I did something with my arms, makes a symbol. Shoulders up, back, and down. Chest lifted. Inhale, both arms up. And now a little bit of a balance challenge. But first, we're going to activate those abs. So as you exhale, drop your arms down, zip up that pelvic floor. Abs engaged. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the sides. And then start to lean back, shifting your hips back, rocking back on the front heel. Try to balance and breathe and balance and breathe and balance and breathe. And inhale up. And we're going to repeat. Exhale, go right back into that balance and breathe pose. Pulling the front leg straight, rocking back on the front heel, arms out to your sides. If you were to take your arms forward, it would be even more of a challenge to balance and breathe. Not saying that's appropriate for every body. Most bodies are good here with airplane arms. Some bodies, lower back issues might be better with hands on hips or hands on blocks, taking weight off the lower back. Bend there long enough to inhale, come back up. And this time as you exhale, pelvic thrust, activate your abs. You're going to rock back on that front heel. I'm going to use blocks underneath my hands. Pull that front leg straight and start to bow forward a little bit deeper. Now we're going for a hamstring stretch. Hands on blocks. If you got long enough arms, hands can come to the floor. The further you take your arms out in front, the more intense the stretch will be on your back, so use caution. Pay attention to your body, not my body, when you're in this pose. Keep on breathing. Again, some of you with really loose hamstrings, good strong core control, no pain in the knee, might be down here holding on to your foot. And then shift out of that, bail out, and let's switch sides. So left foot forward. So going for that 90, 90, 90. 90 at the back knee, 90 at the hip, 90 at the front knee. Maybe the front foot wiggles a little wider out to the side, so you have a wider, broader base of support, easier to balance. And again, I don't really care what you're doing with the back foot as long as that knee is happy. So sometimes pointing the toes disperses the weight on that supporting knee a little bit better. Curling the toes under helps to activate the thigh, helps you to stabilize. There's benefits to doing either foot position with the back foot. Again, I don't really care what you're doing as long as you're happy. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, activate your abs. One more time, prepare. Inhale up. Activate your abs. Begin to rock back on that front heel. Airplane arms to balance. Challenge yourself. Breathe. And then inhale up. And we'll go a little bit further. Exhale. Smooth transition back into that airplane. Balance and breathe. Again, modifications. You're feeling it in your back too much, you can have hands on blocks. You want a little bit more challenge, you can have arms extended out in front. Regardless of what variation you've chosen, you are breathing, hopefully, theoretically. And then with an inhale, come all the way up. We're going to go into that one more time in an extended forward fold. Exhale, abs strong as you rock back on that front heel. Hands can be on blocks. Maybe your hands come to the floor as you bow over that front leg. Going for that hamstring stretch on the back side. For me, it's my left leg, back side of the left leg. Again, hands on blocks, hands on floor. You got abs of steel, and the lower back that's comfortable with this, you might consider reaching out and grabbing a hold of that foot and balancing. You do you. And then coming out of this. Bailing out, switching the sides again. Ho, 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 ho. Again, this is my right foot forward. Measuring out a 90-90. So we're not getting down in the low lunge like we usually do. So just a 90-90 proposal pose. All your weight's on one knee. 90 at the front knee, 90 at the hip, 90 at the back knee. Shoulders up, back, and down. This time we're going to side stretch away from the front leg. So this is my right leg in front. I'm going to side stretch to the left, giving me a stretch on the right side of my body. So I got my blocks nearby. Shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, abs activate. Zip up those tight yoga pants. Little pelvic thrust tilt. Feel that strong quadricep stretch. My right arm comes up and over. Now my left arm is long enough that I can reach down to the ground. Side stretch. Let your head hang. Even press the back or the base of your skull backward a little bit more so your heart opens up. Supporting shoulder shrugs down your back. Top arm extends out through the pinky finger, palm flat like you're dribbling a basketball. And you're here for 3 or 4 breaths. And then with an inhale, come all the way up. Ho, 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 ho. Let's switch sides. So again, 90, 90, 90, blocks nearby, shoulders back, chest lifted. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, activate your abs. Pelvic floor, front hip bones drawn, front rib bones drawn, abs fully engaged. I'm going to side bend to my right. This is my left leg in front. So I'm going to side bend away from the front leg. And it's a side bend. It's not a back bend. Side bend. And my arm is long enough. My side waist is loose enough so that I can take this into a side body stretch. And then inhale, come all the way up. I'm going to park you guys here in a down dog or some cat and cow. My nose is running. I got to go blow my nose. I'll be right back. Cat and cow or down dog, and I'll be right back. All right, commercial break is over. We're going to come back to our lunges. So you did a little cat and cow, your little dog pose, whatever worked for you. That was your commercial break. Now we'll pick up where we left off. So once again, right leg in front. I think I have mild seasonal allergies. If you've ever been to my backyard, it's full of thousands of flowers, and something up there on the hillside makes my nose run. So lunges. Proposal pose, not a deep lunge. Shoulders up, back, and down. And a side stretch in the opposite direction of the front leg. So I got my right leg in front and a side stretch to my left. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, abs active. Leaning to the left, sweeping that right arm up and over. The armpit turn towards the face. Palm flat down towards the ground, lengthening out through pinky finger. Maybe coming down to fingertips on that left hand. Now I've got this top hand in the air. This is my right hand. I am going to let my right hand drop towards my lap. rounding over. So the top hand is diving down halfway between the front foot and the supporting hand. Getting a slightly different angle of stretch in my hip and lower back. I'm feeling this in the right side of my lower back hip. If this works for you, if you want a slightly different intensity, try to pull the front leg straighter, maybe rocking back on that front heel. And then coming out the way you went in. So I've resumed that lunge. I'm going to lift that, for me, it's my right arm up, back into that side stretch. And then inhale all the way back up and switch sides. Getting a lot of deep stretching, all the muscles that attach to your pelvis here around the waist. Switching sides. All right, 90, 90, 90. This 90, 90, 90 thing is important because it kind of gives you a different sensation of stretching your hips, and it allows you to go into deeper spirals and side stretches than you would if you were down into your deepest, lowest lunge. Shoulders up, back, and down, chest lifts. Inhaling up, exhaling, abs activate. This is my left leg in front. That means I'm going to drop my right arm down, and the left arm comes up overhead alongside my ear. Armpit turn towards my face, lengthening out through pinky finger, palm flat down towards the ground. And if your side waist loosens up enough, your bottom arm is long enough, you might be able to drop that supporting hand down to the ground. And again, I'm going to leave you there long enough that you have to breathe at least 3 or 4 times. So my top hand, the one that's in the air, that's floating, palm is flat towards the ground. I'm going to take that top hand and round forward, take that top hand out at a diagonal angle as I rock back on the front heel. Block out of the way. Rock back on the front heel. You need to dive forward. The floating hand ends up on the ground or on a block between the supporting hand and the front foot. And then coming out of this, lift the floating arm up alongside your ear. Resume that lunge, side stretch. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And switch. One more funky lunge. It's going to be a side stretching, back bending, funky lunge. I promise we'll get off on the knees and into slightly different poses. All right. So once again, that 90, 90, 90. Shoulders up, back, and down. Blocks nearby for stability. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, pelvic thrust. Yoga abs activate. Good. And a side stretch. This is my right leg in front. I'm going to side stretch to the left. Right arm comes up. Side stretching. Hand on block or the floor. Top armpit turned towards your face. And now start to roll your ribs, your chest open towards the sky. Keep that bottom shoulder shrugged down your back as you open your heart up. Now, if your side waist is long enough, bottom arm is long enough, you might do this with your hand down on the ground. So letting your heart lift skyward as you side stretch and back bend. To come out of this, you are going to end scene. Bring that hand down midline. And let's switch sides. Shoulders back, 90, 90, 90. You've been here 3,000 times already. You know the drill. Exhale, abs activate. This is my left leg in front. I'm leaning over to the right. Left arm comes up alongside my head. Letting the side body yawn open. Breathing. Be dropping the supporting hand down to the ground. Then rolling ribs, heart open towards the sky, taking into a slight back bend. Maybe letting your head hang, throat open. And again, to come out of this, it's the end of seam move. Drag that hand down midline, tucking your chin to your chest. And come on out. All right, down dog, cat and cow. This is your half time here. Down dog or cat and cow. So cat and cow is this one, inhaling up, exhaling down. And work your cat and cow. You can add a little bit of a calf stretch if you like. Maybe a cat and cow with one leg extended. That's kind of funky. But during cat cow with a calf stretch, it really kind of locks your hips in place and you have to arch and bend in the torso, the upper chest, not just the hips. You're working your down dog and you're going for a cat. I gotta tuck my shirt in. If you're working your down dog and you're going for a calf stretch, you can just be pedaling your feet. You can prance in place for your down dog. Get a calf stretch going there. If you're working your cat and cow and you're going for a calf stretch, go ahead, switch legs, press back through that other heel and do your cat cow with one leg extended. Again, that really prevents your hips from going anywhere and it forces you to bend and flex in the chest. All right, so let's all come on down to hands and knees. I'm going to go to a slightly different angle so you can see my backside even better. Lucky you. Hands and knees. Neutral spine, abs pulled in. This is my right leg, and I'm extending my right leg back behind, pressing through that heel. Taking the pocket change out of my right hip pocket and dropping it down towards the ground. So I'm rolling that right outer hip down towards the ground. I'm pivoting on the ball of the back foot and swinging that right heel wider to the right. Abs zip in nice and tight. I'm going to take this right leg and cross it to the left, across midline. Keep dropping into that right outer hip. And breathing. And reset. And let's repeat on the other side. Left toes curl under, press back through that left heel. Dump the pocket change out of the left hip. Let the left heel swing wider to the left. Breathing. And then take that left leg, cross it to the right, across midline. Still pivoting on the ball of the foot, so dropping the outer left hip down towards the ground. Leaning into that left outer hip. And reset. All right, this is my right leg. Right toes curled under, pressing back through the right heel. Pivoting on the ball of the back foot, dropping that right outer hip down towards the ground. Belly pulled up. Take that right leg, sweep it from right to left across your body. So far, so good. If it's good so far, lift your left hand up. Which one is that? Find your left hand. So far, so good. You want even more challenge? Take that left arm underneath. Walk both hands over to the right. Push into that right hand, lift that right shoulder up, and shrug that left arm underneath a little bit further. Oh, ho, 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 ho. You're still dumping pocket change out of your right hip pocket. Trying to get as much of that left shoulder down on the ground as you can. You're still pulling your belly up into your body, and you are still breathing. And you're getting one heck of a side stretch. And then push into that supporting hand, come all the way up. And let's switch sides. Ho, ho, ho. Hands and knees. Left toes, curl under, press back through that left heel. Drop that left outer hip towards the ground. Pivot on the ball, the back foot, left heel swings to the left a little bit. Abs pulled up. Left leg crosses midline over to the right. Again, lovely rear view here. My thighs are squeezing in tight. I wish I had two different colored pant legs so this was more obvious what was going on here. Good. So if this is my right leg back behind, this is my left leg back behind me. Yeah, this is my right hand. So it's the opposite arm of the leg that's crossed behind. Opposite arm of the leg that's crossed behind goes underneath. Crawl both hands in that same direction and twist the right shoulder down towards the ground. And breathe. And then unwind. Cat and cow or down dog. Yogi's choice. I'm going to do down dog this time. If you know what a cat and cow is, we've done it like 3 times already. You can work your cat and cow without my guidance. If you're playing with your down dog, you can take your feet wide and swing your hips from side to side. Again, really working out of that side waist and hips. If you're playing with your down dog, you might play with a bad dog at the hydrant, if that feels good for you. Finish up whatever you're doing. And we're going to make our way up to a standing position, a standing forward fold. So Uttanasana. I've got my blocks nearby. I'm still bent over in half. And just to be nice to my lower back, so I don't aggravate anything. Got blocks underneath my hands. Feet are about mat width apart. And I'm letting my hips sway side to side, shifting my weight from hip to hip, from foot to foot. And I'm supporting some of my weight with blocks, so I don't overstretch or strain my back. And then you're going to start working your feet wider. Oh, thank you, baby. Give me a kiss. You want some red lipstick? No? Okay. Okay, I see you later. I'll open that when my class is over, okay? Thank you, sweetie. Feet go wide. I'm going to hang out in a forward fold. So you're going for a wide-legged forward fold now. Do make sure both feet are on the mat with you if you're using a mat. Head hanging. Slight bend to your knees so that you can flip your buns high towards the sky. Toes are slightly turned in. Be able to flare your toes, wiggle your toes, put weight into the balls and heels of your feet. And head hangs heavy. And then the hands come beneath your shoulders. You're gonna round your back, come all the way, like halfway up. Find those blocks. I'm moving slowly. Knees bent, you're gonna heel toe wiggle, feet close to one another. I'm very slowly coming out the way I went in. So I'm coming back to Uttanasana with hands on blocks. I'm gonna bend my knees, put my hands on my lap, very slowly, because I don't wanna strain that back. Very slowly, walking hands at my lap, coming slowly all the way up to standing, adjusting the clothing. I'm gonna do some triangle poses. And hopefully, if all that prep work worked out, we're gonna get into some really deep triangle pose, Trikonasana poses. A couple of blocks, one at other end of your mat. I'm gonna take your feet wide. I think I've collected 3 mosquito bites so far. Taking feet wide. You're gonna turn your right toes out, kick your left heel away. I'm gonna put your feet wide, ankles underneath wrists. Notice my right knee. If I'm not paying attention, my right knee hyperextends, it just locks out. So I have to pay attention to this and make sure I don't damage that knee joint. I have to unlock my knee a little bit and engage my quadricep to lift the kneecap up so that my right knee does not collapse. Unlock that right leg. It looks straight. To you, it might feel slightly bent if you're one of those hypermobile people. Shoulders are up, back, and down. Arms come up. As you exhale, engage your abs. Zip up that pelvic floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, engage your abs. And then you're going to stretch and lengthen and reach out over that right leg. Stretching, stretching, stretching without collapsing the knee. Stretching, stretching, stretching. And just hold here because I'm mean and evil, but I love you. Breathe. A little balance challenge here. Supporting knee is unlocked. And inhale up. And let's switch sides. Abs are strong. Pivot your feet to go the other direction. Again, wide stride between your feet. Check in with that knee. Make sure you're not hyperextending it. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, abs active. Once again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, abs really active, because from here you're going to stretch out over that left leg and pause and hold it and breathe. And inhale up. I know you're dying to go into that pose. Let's switch sides and then we'll go into it. Give you a little bit of a relief, kind of. And then I'm just going to leave you there for half an hour. Not really. Inhale, arms up. Unlock that knee. Exhale, abs strong. Stretch out over that front leg without locking the knee. Stretch, 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 stretch. Right hand can find a block to the outside of the ankle. Left arm can come up. Armpit turning towards your face, like you're sniffing for deodorant. Palm towards your face. You can see your palm. And breathe. And if you want to extend this triangle pose a little bit further, take that top arm alongside your ear. Extended Trikonasana, Uttita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose variation. Bottom shoulder shrugged away from your ear. Front knee unlocked. I'm letting my top elbow hyperextend, even bend backwards a little bit. It's not weight bearing, so it doesn't really matter that much. And breathing. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then with an inhale, come all the way back up into standard triangle. And then inhale all the way back up to standing. And let's switch sides. Maybe you got into that triangle pose a little deeper than usual, thanks to all those lunges we did. So once again, reset your feet. Left toes turn out. Right heel kicks away. Unlock the left knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, abs activate. Stretch out over that left leg without locking out the knee. Stretching, 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 stretching. And then the left hand comes down to the block outside the ankle. Top arm straight up. You can look at that top arm, turn the armpit towards your face. Find the pale skin of your inner arm, the stuff with no tan. Turn that towards your face. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Palm is towards your gaze. And then that arm comes alongside your head for the extended version of this triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana, variation, extended triangle pose. And you are breathing. And then with an inhale, come back to standard triangle. And then inhale all the way back up to standing. You're going to step your feet together for just a moment. So as you can imagine, as you can guess, we're going to do that again. A slight variation. We're going to turn it into pyramid pose. It's kind of like, instead of going over to the side, we're going to get the forward fold version of that same stretch, which is a pyramid pose. So for pyramid pose, I'm going to turn to my right. I'm going to turn my right toes out, kick my left heel away, and hop that left foot around. Let me get two separate lines here. I've got my right foot on purple and my left foot on pink. So I've got an imaginary line down the midline of my mat. I got my two blocks, one on either side of that front foot. Notice this back heel. I'm going to pick up the back heel, pivot on the back toes, and swing that left heel to the left. And take my right hip, swing it to the left. Pull the front leg straight and come into a forward fold. So this is your classic pyramid pose, hands on blocks beneath your shoulders. Letting that left outer hip drop down towards the ground, dropping the pocket change out of that left hip. Flat back if you can get it. Pressing the base of your skull towards the sky. Back of your neck is long and wrinkle-free. I'm gazing at a point about 15 inches ahead of my big toe. And again, I'm going to leave you there 3 or 4 breaths. Front knee unlocks. Back heel pressing down towards the ground. It may or may not touch. And then when you've walked like an Egyptian on this side, you're going to shove off, come all the way up to standing. Pivot around to do the other side. I'm going to tuck my shirt in so you can see a little better. So again, feet are separated. There's length and width between your feet. You're going to pick up that back heel, pivot on the back heel, swing the back heel out to the side. So the pocket change drops out of that hip pocket. Front knee is unlocked. As you hinge forward, hands come to bricks. Flat tabletop back, chin slightly tucked, the base of your skull pressing up towards the sky. Pulling the front leg straight, pressing the back heel straight back. You know what a kegel is? You're doing a kegel. And then you're going to come all the way up and switch sides again. I think I'm going to go this way. So right foot in front, left leg back. Hands on blocks, either side of that front foot. You're going to pick up that back heel, swing the back heel wide, dumping the pocket change out of your left hip pocket, squaring and leveling your hips. To help further square and level your hips, you're going to engage like you're dragging the front leg backward, the back leg forward, and pull in on that pelvic floor like you got to pee. Hold it in. Activate your abs nice and strong. You might shift a little weight into your left arm, your left hand, so that your right hand is free. I've got my right leg in front, my right hand is free, and with an inhale, I'm going to sweep that right arm up and open into a twist. Revolved triangle. Front knee is unlocked. Back heel stretching straight back, towards the ground. Turning that top armpit towards my face, palm is towards my head. Revolved triangle. You want to play with it, you might bring that top arm alongside your head for a variation on your revolved triangle. And if you're with me in this variation, take that top hand, palm to the floor, wipe a table out in front of you, shrug that top shoulder onto your back a little bit further, continue to wipe that table around to slip the back of your hand around the back of your waist. Maybe even tuck your fingertips into your waistband. Shrugging out of that bottom shoulder, turning your chest open towards the sky a little bit further in that revolved triangle, half bound variation. Front knee is unlocked. And then you get to slowly come back to standard revolved triangle pose, standard pyramid pose, standard Uttanasana forward fold. Breathe. I'm going to do that whole thing on the other side. I'm just kind of pausing here in Uttanasana, letting myself settle down, find equilibrium, recenter, and then I'm going to twist it all up. Bend in my knees, bringing the blocks with me, coming all the way up to standing. Get ready to switch sides. I'm going to turn around, but you guys can just switch legs. From here, I take a giant step back with your right foot. Hands on blocks beneath your shoulders. Feet are on either side of an imaginary line down the middle of your mat. I'm going to pick up that back heel, swing the back heel wide. Pull my thighs in tight towards one another without locking the front knee. Scissor my legs like I'm dragging the front leg back, the back leg forward to engage that pelvic floor. Activate the abs a little bit more. Right hand is on a block on the inside arch side of my left leg. My left leg is in front. I'm going to sweep that left arm up and open and smile at the camera. Revolved triangle pose. Parvrita Trikonasana. Take it into a variation. Utthita Parvrita Trikonasana. Extending that revolved triangle pose, turning that top armpit towards my face. Both shoulders are away from my ears. Top palm towards the ground like I'm dribbling a basketball as I take that top arm alongside my head. I'm still pulling my left hip back. Pressing left inner thigh against right inner thigh. Top hand wipes the table out in front. Shrugging that top shoulder onto my back, continue to wipe that table around my hip, and then maybe take the back of the hand around my waist, maybe tucking fingertips into waistband. I'm doing a half bound. Revolved triangle pose. Ardha Baddha Parvrita Trikonasana. Coming out of that, standard triangle pose, revolved triangle pose. Back to standard pyramid pose, walk like an Egyptian. And then stepping forward into Uttanasana forward fold, just to recenter, regain equilibrium. Breathe freely again. That's enough standing poses. That was the highlight of the class there. That's the culmination. What we were building up towards was that really funky revolved triangle. So that was the pinnacle pose. That was the advanced move at the end of all that prep. So you know what that means. We're heading down towards the mat. So from here, you might consider copping a squat, taking your feet wide. Just coming on down. Malasana. If Malasana does not appeal to you, happy baby. Happy baby. So you can hang out in the squat, make nice with that. Or if squatting does not work for you, happy baby. Happy baby messes with my hair clip, so I'm going to squat. But you can do your happy baby. You know what to do. If you're hanging out and squat, your shoulders are down, your neck is long, you're breathing. you're working that happy baby, you might set yourself rocking side to side. And then we're all going to lie down. Before you completely collapse on me, have your blocks nearby. I'm going to make a block choo-choo train, long and low. That is the tempo. I don't know. A couple of blocks, covering them with my pillow. So I've got some padding and support underneath my knees. Come on down to the ground. Just to further put the back together a little bit more. Bring one knee in. Bring both knees in. Rock a little side to side. Spread your hips across the ground. And then coming to neutral, I'm going to transfer both hands over to my right knee, my right shin, and stretch that left leg out over my pile of cushions. So this is Ardha Apanasana, half wind relieving posture. And then just switch sides. I'm just going to keep holding onto this right knee. Bring the left leg up. Switch hands to the other shin. And stretch the right leg out. Settle in, shoulders away from your ears. Nice slow breaths. And then releasing the left leg. Both legs going out over that bolster. Open your arms out to the sides, palms turned up. Roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists, wiggle your jaw, wiggle your nose, shimmy your shoulders, shimmy your hips. Settle in. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms and legs. Stretching, moving, even yawning. Make your way slowly over onto your right side. And from there, using your hands on the floor, press yourself up to sit. Sit any way you like. And we'll finish with hands together at the heart, with a word that can be used in farewell or in greeting, as a sign of acknowledgement and respect. Namaste. Have a wonderful Sunday. And if you're not aware, I do have a Wednesday night foam roller and tennis ball class. Everybody's invited to that. If you don't have a foam roller or tennis balls, contact me. I can leave them outside my front door. You can pick them up. Hope to see you Wednesday. If not Wednesday, I'll see you next Sunday, and have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.